Hey,
How you
man.
guys doing today?
Good. How are you? I love that shirt.
I Thank you. I figured I'd be like in the vibe of the show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. You're
Very good.
cheering me up.
That's it.
Michael, first to you. Nobody in this world plays a law enforcement officer better than you.
Oh,
But
geez,
tell me
thank you.
what was different for preparing for Agent Zillow different from this era to maybe some previous roles.
Hey,
How you
man.
guys doing today?
Good. How are you? I love that shirt.
I Thank you. I figured I'd be like in the vibe of the show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Nice.
man. You're
Very good.
cheering me up.
That's it.
Michael, first to you. Nobody in this world plays a law enforcement officer better than you.
Oh,
But
geez,
tell me
thank you.
what was different for preparing for Agent Zillow different from this era to maybe some previous roles.
I get this question a lot. I guess, look, I've been very, very fortunate to be able to play guys like Vic Mackey and Tony Scally and the commission. They've all been very distinct, I feel. And this one was distinct as well. Beginning with the period, this is a very, very, it's 1978, the advent of the cocaine trade in Miami, very, very distinct time, and distinct issues that he's dealing with. He's from Brooklyn originally. Mackey was from Boston. There's a whole bunch of differences between these two men, and it satisfied me in that, I could live in this character in a completely different way than I have with any of the others. Now, to the audience, they'll see some crossover that will probably be a good thing for them. If they enjoy any of my portrayals of law enforcement in the past, they might, pardon my language, fucking dig this. But he's not Vic Mackey, he's Dominic Zulio. He's just a different guy.
And I just want to share, Chris Brancato told me behind the scenes that this, in the hands of some other actor, this could have been just that DEA agent who forces Danny Pino to go down a different path. But in the hands of Michael Chiklis, it becomes so deep and dimensional and vulnerable and
Well, we
explosive.
discussed all of that.
And
Thank you, Mark.
and it's
You want to talk about depth and dimension and everything? Let's talk about his character, because
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, that's the perfect
incredible.
segue, right?
Incredible, incredible. Want to talk about depth and dimension and everything? Let's talk about his character, because
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, that's the perfect
incredible.
segue, right?
Incredible, incredible. Honestly, I can't think of a comparable character that I've seen ever to Mark's portrayal in this. It really is someone that is as broad and over the top, but at the same time grounded and nuanced and vulnerable and intelligent, and this wildly like naive yet like I don't even know how to describe his character. It's all of these different things.
Thank you so much.
And man, listen, I I am a musician as well as an actor, and I always hear the music in anything that I'm in and anything that I read. And this guy's hitting a million notes, and that's some virtuosity. It's true.
Thank you, buddy.
So
I mean, yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. And I guess a good question to follow up with that, Burton comes across so many historical figures throughout the series. Who's someone from that era that maybe you would have been fun to interact with as Burton?
Oh my God, what a great
that's a
question.
great
That is
question.
so much fun. And I got to tell you, to get into character, I was reading all the beat poets, so I would have been in heaven to meet the real Hunter S. Thompson, to meet Jack Kerouac, to meet Allen Ginsberg, Abby Hoffman, to meet Alan Watts and sit and meditate with him as my character might have done. And that's the fun of historical fiction, which Chris Brancato has been an enormous contributor to as a genre, from Narcos to Godfather of Harlem, where Bumpy Johnson's getting to have a scene with Muhammad Ali. Who knows if they ever really said those things, but you don't care because you're on the ride. And my character gets to interact with Hunter S. Thompson and Rick James and the Maharishi. So it's like the most fun, because we know they probably never, I mean, we know that the song that Rick James made famous was probably not based on Burton Greenberg, but in our world, it is, because I'm a super freak, super freak.
He's super freaky.
Ow. Thank you.
Guys, thank you. That was a joy, a pleasure. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. You made my job
Pleasure,
easy.
guys.
So
Michael, I'm a
much.
huge fan. Thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm excited. Danny, first to you. Let's talk about Roman. How did the role come about, and what was it like, kind of maybe even preparing for it?
Well, thank you, Ricky. Roman Compte came about, Hotel Cocaine came about for me through one of my very good friends and brother, Yul Vasquez. It came about from a phone call where Yul said, "Look, I'm working on Godfather of Harlem with Chris Brancato, who's the co-creator of Narcos and the creator of Godfather of Harlem. He wants to and is developing a show called Hotel Cocaine, set in Miami, 1978, where we would be playing brothers." And I said, "You can stop right there. I'm in." And he was like, "I think you should read the script first." And so that's where the dominoes started to fall at that point. But in creating Roman Comte specifically, that comes about through Maurice Comte, who's a fellow colleague of mine on Mayans MC, a fantastic actor in his own right. And he actually pitched the show to Chris Brancato on the set of Narcos, where they were working together. And so Roman comes from multiple conversations with Maurice about his actual father being the general manager of the Mutiny Club and Hotel in 1978 in Miami, and setting that foundation as, the authentic center for the character, but then riffing off of that with Chris to fictionalize the character to be the Roman that we get to meet in Hotel Cocaine.
Yul Nestor is a badass. Let's just be honest.
Hell yeah.
He's
Hell yeah, he is.
hard note.
Heart of gold.
Like the hard note crying boss. Talk to me about preparing for like larger than life, in a way, drug pin.
I mean, the all the circumstances are written and they're baked into the script. So it's just a matter of, preparing how I would approach that through the filters of this character. You know what I mean? And then honestly, trying to have some fun with it, not take it super seriously, because I think that becomes a bit of a, bit of a dirge, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So trying to keep it, and then he has the ability to, have the brother relationship and the goddaughter relationship. So you see, he's afforded via the script abilities to show the different colors.
The Mutiny Club Hotel there is just, I mean, I watched the show and I was like, I want to go, right? You know what I mean? Like, this era is filled with the vibrant colors, the outlandish hairstyles, the different clothes. Danny, first to you, what was kind of your favorite part about being in this world?
I don't know that there's one favorite part. I think it probably starts with Adela Cortázar's wardrobe. She's the first person I met who that's where I started to really visually see who Roman Comte was putting on the polyester and the wide lapels and the platform shoes. I mean, that's really where I started to feel like Roman. But then you step onto Raimundo Cabrera's sets and you're transported immediately. But as a viewer, when you're watching Guillermo Navarro set the table for all of us visually of, the Mutiny Club and 1978 Miami, the most transformative period in our city's history. We were both raised in Miami. That makes it a transformative, a transportive experience for the viewer, I believe.
I mean, it's Guillermo Navarro won the Academy Award for cinematography for Pan's Labyrinth. His visual sense is unbelievable. And a lot of the things you see, the projection on the guy we're torturing, all that is from the mind of G, as we like to call him.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that you felt like you wanted to be there. That was something that Guillermo would talk about all the time. I want to make it so that the viewers would want to be at the Mutiny in 1978.
First to you, Chris. Talk to me about the idea of Hotel Cocaine and why you wanted to bring it to life.
Well, when Guillermo and I were working on Narcos back in 2014 or so, there was an actor we had who told me the story of his father, Roman Compte, who was the club manager at the Hotel Mutiny. And I thought it was kind of fascinating. It seemed to me like the movie Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart, but set against the backdrop of the war on drugs rather than World War II. So I was kicking it around in my head. Several years later, Maurice Compte sent me a little more information, and that ultimately led to pitching MGM Plus the idea of the show. And right away, I said to Michael Wright, the head of the network, I said, I want Guillermo to direct it. He's the perfect guy. And Michael Wright just bought it right on the phone. I didn't even have to do any extensive pitch, and then wrote a draft or two of the script, and then he picked it up. And so, yeah, it materialized. It took a while, but it materialized in a kind of organic, natural way. Guillermo and I have worked on multiple series together: Godfather of Harlem, Hannibal, it's Narcos. So, yeah, it all came to pass, and it seems almost strange that it's coming out on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Right. Gilberto, this is one of the things I loved about this, the introduction of the Mutiny Hotel. This thing is its own character on top of having these outlandish characters in themselves. Tell me how you balance ensuring we get the vibe from the hotel while also making sure the actors are bringing the script to life.
Yeah, well, for us, it was very important that the Mutiny Club was like the place to be in real life, but we also wanted to is the place to be in the series. So it is like a tremendous force of attraction with choreographers we had, with fun, what it's like to be there. Celebrities were always around, etc. And it was like the perfect space for the experiencing the drug and the fun and the sexuality, etc., etc. So it's a very strong force in the series, at a very point of attraction. Everything gravitates around it. And
Okay.
oh,
Well, the Mutiny Club itself was a stage set we built. A great production designer, Raimundo Cabrera, built it. But we also used a real hotel from the basically hadn't been refurbished since the 70s. So we had beachfront and back deck and lobby, and all of that stuff was an actual hotel. So we blended the two together to create what you see on your screen.
At the end of watching the series, I was like, I just want to go to the club now. You know what I mean?
yeah, you have to pay a special ticket.
Chris, exactly. Chris, I think casting is vital here. Danny Pino is just phenomenal as Roman. How did that casting come about?
Well,
For us, was very important to have a Cuban American to play the role, both brothers. And so the center of attention was to find. Then, unfortunately, we got Danny Pino to play the role. I think it's remarkable, so reliable, and he just sheds confidence and discipline and good work, and the entire cast really gravitates around that, and it was a blessing.
yeah, he's phenomenal. Also, as Guillermo says, the having Cuban Americans playing those roles was important because the Cuban immigration was the only immigration to the U.S. from a foreign country that was welcomed with open arms because they were leaving Castro. Almost every other immigration, Italian, German, certainly the Black immigration, which was forced, was that people weren't greeted with open arms. So this is a unique experience, and to have guys who are Cuban playing the roles was important. And that then extended to all other roles on the show. So for instance, Roman's girlfriend, Marisol, well, she's an actress we cast out of Madrid. Well, that's where she's from in the show. She came from Madrid here. So we wanted that kind of authenticity, not for politically correct reasons, just simply because we thought it was the best thing for the show.
To you, Laura, I love Janice. I just feel like she's this multifaceted character who, like, on one hand, is like protecting girls, and then at all costs, but then on the other hand, kind of getting her hand dirt. Roman, talk about kind of playing both sides of this character.
I mean, I think all interesting characters do have more than one thing going on, and they are multifaceted. And it's interesting when those two things kind of, or three or four things, come into conflict, and watching somebody try to keep all the plates spinning and particularly once Roman Compte's character gets enmeshed again with his brother, Nestor Cabal, that world really starts spinning all her plates, because everything that happens to Roman really greatly impacts Janice and also the nightclub, and she's determined to keep the nightclub and the hotel running because that is her whole world, and she has put all her eggs in that basket. And also she cares so deeply about Roman that she's really willing to do a lot to protect all of those things. And watching somebody try to do that and also remain true to themselves and maybe realize that they've overstepped, and I liked those moral ambiguities and playing around in that pool. It was really fun.
Karina, to you, we all kind of dive into this world of the 70s and 80s Miami. And you do, obviously, as Valerie there. What was it like kind of preparing for?
Well, I when I first got the part, I had to do a lot of research on the 70s. But one of my favorite things from the 70s is the music. I loved the music from the 70s prior. So the first thing I did was make a playlist for Valeria, and I just put in songs that I felt like resonated with her and I feel like she would have listened to. And as I did the show and her character developed, I just added to it, and you could really see the difference from the beginning to the end. I think that was really one of the biggest things that helped me step into the character. But yeah, I also, one of the things that helped me a bunch was talking to my scene partners, mostly Marisol and Tanya and Danny.
He's so method.
I
She
know.
calls them method characters.
And like they helped me tremendously, like step into the character and figure out scenes. We really found something beautiful in every single scene.
Yeah, Tanya, to you, Maricel, definitely like the backbone of certain elements, especially kind of the emotional core of the series. Kind of, what was that like working within that kind of vibe? And I mean, like I said, this show is crazy, and you're kind of more of the back of the series, maybe the more emotion of it.
Yeah, right from the beginning, I felt this responsibility because Chris Brancato, the showrunner of the show, he already said, like, you're going to be the heart of the show. So I took that. Yeah,
No pressure.
no pressure. So I took that very seriously. And I mean, as an actor, as an artist, you do have a certain sensibility, and that's always very nice to play and to explore, right? All the deep emotions. And very fortunately, I had Danny Pino as my on-screen partner, and he's incredibly open to talk about anything. And so is Corina, who's also my on-screen partner. So the way I like to work is mostly to react naturally with what is there. Nothing else is real. There's people with cameras, there's people like dressed in black, eating a sandwich in the background. The only thing that's real is the person in front of me looking in my eyes and telling me these words. So I would just focus on that. Unfortunately, I had two very good partners, on-screen partners, who helped me just bring all that out.
I love that. Just a fun one before we go. Obviously, this era is filled with vibrant colors, outlandish hairstyles, maybe different clothes. First to you, Laura, was there something about this that was your favorite part about being inside of it?
I mean, the set design, the costume, and the hair and makeup together, getting on set in all of that, looking at all of that was absolutely incredible and a delight, and informed so much of my character. I don't feel like it all settled in until I did step on set in costume and hair and makeup for the first time, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really, like, what about you, Karina?
I think I just remembered the amazing collection of cars they provided.
Yeah.
Yes, the
For
cars.
the show. They were absolutely beautiful, and they were like, they looked brand new. Like
They
it
did.
was incredible.
My car didn't. It did not look friendly.
No,
It's too
but
tiny.
they're beautiful.
Well, unfortunately, Marisol doesn't go much to the club, but the club, every time I had the opportunity, I would go to Sam. I was like, I'm just gonna visit, just gonna have a look. The rooms, the hotel rooms. I mean, congratulations to Raimundo Cabrera, because he did such an amazing job
Incredible.
with all the rooms that kept on changing. Of course, we had every few weeks you would find a new room, and I'm incredibly jealous of everybody who works in the club.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you, ladies, for your time today.